Today, 66% of adults live paycheck to paycheck, and nearly a third of Americans carry more credit card debt than they have in emergency savings, constantly tipping the scales toward a financial crisis. That widespread vulnerability usually comes down to a lack of basic financial literacy. Without understanding the mechanics of money, a minor disruption can easily spiral into a disaster. Escaping that cycle requires moving along a financial continuum. It is a specific, sequential journey you have to take to build real wealth. The first major milestone on that journey is financial security. This is the point where your immediate monetary concerns are mitigated, allowing you to live comfortably within your means and survive without stress. The final destination is financial independence. That is the stage where you have amassed enough wealth that your savings and investments generate the income you need to thrive, without the need for active work. You cannot jump straight to the end. Reaching that level of total autonomy requires following a precise roadmap, where mastering the current phase is the only way to advance to the next. Step 1 is bringing order to your daily cash flow. You have to clearly track what comes in versus what goes out. This pie chart breaks down the popular 50-30-20 rule. You allocate 50% of your net income to basic necessities, 30% to wants and lifestyle choices, and 20% directly to savings. Alternatively, you can use the 80-20 method, also known as pay yourself first. This flips the priority by extracting that 20% for savings immediately, locking it away before you spend a single dime from the remaining 80% pool. For those who need deeper visibility, there is the Japanese Kakibo method. You manually log your take-home earnings into a ledger and sort your variable spending into specific categories like needs, wants, culture, and the unexpected. Forcing yourself to categorize and track this data encourages mindfulness. It reduces the impulse buys that quickly compound into high-interest consumer debt. This structured budget acts as a diagnostic tool, exposing and freeing up the capital you need to fund the next phase of the continuum. Sudden life events, a medical emergency, a major car repair, or a sudden job loss are capable of shattering an unprotected budget. The solution is the emergency fund. Financial planners strictly calculate this as a cash reserve covering 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses. You must keep this money highly liquid. Instead of locking it away in stocks or bonds, it sits in an accessible savings or money market account where you can retrieve it immediately. This fund requires maintenance. If a crisis hits and you have to draw from those reserves, your immediate financial priority is to replenish that account back to the minimum 3-month threshold. Building this liquid shield moves you out of basic survival mode. It provides true financial security, giving you the psychological peace of mind necessary to take on long-term investment risks. With your baseline secure, you can shift from defense to offense. Now your saved capital goes to work for you. The engine of wealth creation is compound interest. You earn interest on your initial investment, and then you earn additional interest on the interest you've already accumulated. This graph compares two approaches. Investor A starts at age 25, contributes $5,000 a year for a decade, then completely stops. Investor B starts a decade later at 35, but contributes that same $5,000 every single year for 30 years. Assuming an 8% return, Investor A finishes with roughly $787,000 by age 65. Investor B, despite depositing capital for 30 full years, reaches just $540,000. That exponential curve accelerates even faster depending on frequency. Compounding your returns monthly rather than annually squeezes out a higher overall yield from the exact same interest rate. Mathematically, time in the market dictates your outcome far more than the raw amount of capital you deposit. Compound interest does the heavy lifting required to generate long-term wealth. Letting that wealth compound uninterrupted eventually leads to the final milestone on the continuum, financial independence. This is an exact mathematical threshold. You reach it when the passive income generated by your investments fully covers your daily cost of living. At the earlier stage of financial security, you still had to work to cover your expenses. But here, trading your time for a paycheck in traditional labor is no longer a requirement to maintain your lifestyle. Reaching this state does not demand a massive inheritance or a lottery win. It happens strictly through the sequential mastery of cash flow, asset protection, and compounding interest. Mastering personal finance simply lets you bada-bath your own autonomy. You can start that process right now by calculating your exact net income and picking a budgeting method to take control of it.